Hello and welcome to Capping Corner. This week we are going to discuss the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland. So let's start talking about it. Who's going to be the favorite? I think it's going to be in due time, and he was second in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. Now, I don't have a lot to say about his trip. He was second, he just wasn't good enough to beat Simplification, and he almost lost second to Old Captain, who was closing at the end. What do you think of In Due Time?
I really think In Due Time is going to be the favorite of the race, but I'm a bit skeptical about the Fontaine of Youth group. You see, this he was second to Simplification. Okay, Simplification is a kind of long shot in the Kentucky Derby. Our captain was unable to qualify to the Derby. The fourth was Emmanuel, another horse that is out of the Kentucky Derby. And well, this group is wasn't too legit. However, he ran well that day, but yes, O'Catting was really running late and he almost beat into time.
Yeah, we must also mention that the fourth place finisher, Emmanuel, he really wasn't that impressive in his next start when he tried to earn points in the Bluegrass Stakes. He had an easy lead and he just gave it up. Let's move on to Tawny Port, who was fifth in the Risen Star Stakes back in February. He was also second in the JR Stakes at Turfway Park on synthetic. Now, he did show more speed in the JR Stakes, but I think that he's going to be a closer in this race because he was a closer in the Risen Star Stakes. And I think deep down inside, he's probably a synthetic horse, but he might be good enough to win this race anyway, even if he prefers synthetic. What do you think of Tawny Port?
Well, Tony Port, he ran an okay race in the Racing Star, and that day he faced some horses that are going to be favorite in the Kentucky Derby. For example, Epicenter, I think he's going to be the favorite. Smile Happy, a horse with a shot in the Derby. Sandon, another horse that could be third choice in the Kentucky Derby or second choice. So this group was really strong and he was fifth, not too far away. He was 7 lengths to the winner, and he had a bit of trouble in the backstretch. He shuffled back a bit. Well, then he ran in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and okay, she showed more speed. That was in a synthetic track, but if you see his workouts, he was working really sharp for that race. So maybe he will show more speed this time. I think the horse is improving each race, and my only concern is that he doesn't need to win to get in the Derby. With the placing, he's in the Derby. But yes, he has all the talent to win.
Right. My concern is that Brad Cox might tell his jockey to just take it easy on him in the stretch. And I don't know if Tawny Port is going to put his full effort if he doesn't need to win the race. But I think he could just win on class alone. He was fifth in the Risen Star, like we said. And the sixth place finisher, Slow Down Andy, went on to win the Sunland Derby. So it was a very strong race. And he's probably going to be my top pick. Let's move on to Midnight Chrome on the rail, who I think you like a little bit. What do you think of Midnight Chrome?
Well, Midnight Chrome ran it was a decent effort that Rensen Stakes race. He showed speed and he entered in the stretch as the leader, but okay, Mo Sandon and Mo Donegal were looked really superior to him, but he was able to keep the third place. And then after a 4 month layoff, he ran okay in a turf race. Now he's coming back to a dirt race. I think he's going to be sent from the rail and he could be able to pick a piece in this spot.
I don't like him, but I understand your reasoning for thinking he could get a piece. I'll tell you who I do like. I like We All See It from the third post. We All See It. He's from Fairgrounds also, but he just won an optional claimer on March 19. He won an optional claimer over who I think is a good horse and strong quality. 2 starts ago, we all see it kind of flopped in another race in an optional claimer at Oaklawn. He was 7th when Zozos won by 10 lengths. I think I could cross that race out. I think we all see it could save ground and he could show tactical speed with Lewis Sias on board. What do you think of we all see it?
Well, this could be an interesting horse. You know, he's switching from the Sean Parker to Luis Saez, and his last workout was really fast. He's stepping up in class, and well, we'll see if he can improve. He can keep improving, but he could. Why not?
Right. Let's move on to Ethereal Road, who was 7th in the Bluegrass Stakes just last weekend. And now he's running 1 week later in the Lexington Stakes in search of Derby points. What do you think of Ethereal Road?
Ethereal Road has had some rough trips, not good trips. In the Rebel, he was 4 wide. That cost him probably the race. And in the Bluegrass, he also had a bad trip. He was 3 wide on the first turn, then 5 wide. And that's probably the reason he was really flat on the stretch. Now, this group is really more easy because you see the Bluegrass, it was Sandon, Smile Happy, really tough horses for the Kentucky Derby. And if he has this time a good trip, I think he can run well.
It's too soon for me. I think he's going to be a tired horse.
Well, I trust the Lucas old school.
Well, you trust Lucas? I don't. Let's move on to Skate to Heaven. Skate to Heaven broke his maiden at Oaklawn on March 19. He won by a nose over a Masai Warrior. Why do you like Skate to Heaven?
Well, this kind of horses at this stage can improve 10 points in a race. And he did it. And according to Brisnet, when he lost to Ethereal Road, he recorded a 79 points in the Brisnet scale. In his last race, it was 94. It was a really big improvement. And he's by Laoban out of Bernardini mare. I like that breeding. And he could keep improving. I like him probably underneath. Not to win, but he's usable underneath.
Okay, we have to move on. Let's go to Strava, who I like a little bit. I like Strava because he comes out of the race Cyberknife won at Fairgrounds on February 19. And I remember you liked Cyberknife for the Arkansas Derby. Well, Strava was 3rd to Cyberknife in that optional claimer. So I'm wondering, even though it was an optional claimer, I'm wondering if he will find these opponents a little bit easier because they're not Cyberknife. What do you think of Strava?
Strava is a horse with some talent, but I think he has some distance limitations.
Fair enough. We have to talk about one more. Call Me Midnight on the wide outside. He did win the Lecomte Stakes over Epicenter in January. Without the pace setup in the Louisiana Derby, he could only manage to finish 6th. Although he did go a bit wide on the second turn, so I don't know if you want to forgive him for that. What do you think of Call Me Midnight?
Yes, I agree with you. He won the Lecomte because the pace setup benefited him. And in the Louisiana Derby, the pace was a bit slower and he was unable to close. And this time he could be wide again because he drew the far outside post. So I don't like him this time.
Right. I think if Call Me Midnight drew a little more inside, I might have included him in my top 3 or top 4. But I think the wide post will take him out. Maybe he'll have to settle for an underneath finish this time. All right, let's close it out. My top 3 picks. I'm going to go with Tawny Port on top, although I am concerned that he's not going to try his best. Maybe he's just good enough to win anyway. We All See It is my second choice, and Strava will be my third choice. And if I was playing a multi-race wager, I'd probably just include those 3 horses. How about you? What are your final picks?
Well, my top pick is Tawny Port. I'm giving him the slight edge. My second choice, Ethereal Road. And my third choice is Skate to Heaven. If I'm going to play a trifecta, superfecta, I will add Midnight Chrome.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thanks for listening to Capping Corner this week. We're going to take some time off and wait until the Kentucky Derby. So wait for us to come back. We will be back when the big race comes around. And good luck with your bets this week.
Good luck, everyone.